is anyway.
How you really feel?
Yeah. Actually, the channel's been doing okay compared to recent. All right, I'm talking. Yeah, drifting! Rally mode. Okay. Oh shit, truck's coming. You know what a good car was? The 720S, but it's discontinued. You know what a wild car was? The 765 LT, and of course I'm talking about McLarens here. I almost felt like you needed a racing license to drive that properly on the street. What a ridiculous, ridiculous machine. But you know what? Now there's something that lives in between those two, and it's easy to drive, it's wonderful. You just gotta be basically a billionaire to afford it. I'm talking about the McLaren 750S, oh my God, it's crazy! Sorry. It's my buddy Josh sitting there. He's visiting from Texas. So we're going for a drive before we go get some Mexican food because it's better here in California. Correct?
No.
Wrong. Tex-Mex sucks. All right, the McLaren 750S is an improvement over the departed 720S, which is crazy to make that car better somehow. But they did it. More power, a little bit less weight, more aero, the things that add up to an even crazier supercar or hypercar, whatever your definition is of them. I don't care. This has a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 engine out back that makes 740 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque, can go 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds, top speed of 205 miles per hour. This is the Spider version, and it doesn't matter if you have the coupe or the Spider, they do the same thing. Also, this roof is electrochromic, which I find super cool. So 7-speed dual clutch, rear wheel drive, all that good stuff. But McLaren somehow made it a little bit lighter at the corners. You can opt for these optional seats that are crazy. And then they increased the size of the rear wing. They've added more vents. They've just made it stick to the ground more amazingly. It still has the insanely awesome cross-link damper suspension setup, which is hydraulic, so this car is flat. Yet, when you're just cruising on a road, even if it has some bumps, it's really comfortable. It can handle the curbage on a racetrack. It can handle whatever the 405 can throw at it, or even the 101. That's how good it is. So it's just an amazing machine. It is comfortable in here. However, I am basically at the limit of who can fit in this thing at 6'3", 210 pounds. But I like that they got rid of kind of the goofy folding gauge cluster from the last version. I get why it had that, but it's like, oh, I'm in track mode. What percentage of owners put their car in track mode? When I had that car, I put it in track mode and then immediately told the gauge cluster to come back out. This one doesn't do that, thankfully. The infotainment is a little bit better and actually has Apple CarPlay, though it has to be wired. And if you have Android Auto, McLaren basically says you're too poor to have one of these cars, so they didn't put Android Auto in the car, which is kind of hilarious to me. But it does weird things, like the audio volume just kind of drops out. And then it did a weird thing today where the climate control, I would turn down the fan and it would turn it back up. And I would turn down the fan and it would turn it back up. And then eventually, finally, it's like, all right, fine. You don't need it that cold, I got it. Just like weird stuff that shouldn't exist at this level of cars, but exists in this level of cars across all of them. Like Bentleys do crappy things, Rolls-Royce do crappy things. It's weird that you pay this much and these cars still have quirks. But speaking of the price, the coupe is about $320,000 to start, 320, 330, I forget the exact number. This one's about $350 to start. It doesn't matter the exact number because no one specs them that much. They all spec them to the moon. This one is over $420,000, which is why I said you should be a billionaire to afford one of these. I know you multi-millionaires are crying, hey, I could afford one too. Good for you. I don't actually give a shit. But if you can afford it and you do buy one, you have a heck of a machine here. Let me turn around for the fun road again. One thing I do like, this is a great time segue for that, I planned it, the nose lift is easier to activate. It used to be kind of hidden in one of these stocks. You'd have to hit it and then confirm it. Now it's just a button. You press it, it goes, yeah, let's lift the nose. Then you press it again, let's put the nose down. Or it can do it based on how fast. So if you have it up and you leave your driveway or your garage and you hit a certain speed, the nose will automatically come down, which is nice. I'll leave it up so it doesn't, so I can have an idea of what speed it is. So then you can navigate things like this and not scratch anything. Let's see. Maybe I hit it and already put it down. I don't know. Whatever. Another cool mode though is Kiwi mode. There's a button shaped like a little kiwi in honor of Bruce McLaren, originally from New Zealand, the namesake of the company. Kiwi mode is basically an individual driving mode. So if you adjust the powertrain settings how you like it, you adjust the handling how you like it, traction control, gears, do you want them to shift themselves or do you want to do it? You press and hold the Kiwi button and it remembers your settings, so when you get in, it does it automatically. You can have the arrow set to rock on, all that stuff. There's a launch control button underneath that. McLaren has made it much more simple than previous models, and that's greatly appreciated. But I mean, what else can I say about a car like this? I've driven it at the launch. I drove it through the desert of Las Vegas at speeds I'm not allowed to probably say on camera. I drove it on Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is kind of a boring track, but still it's fun to push a car in an environment where you have room to step it out. This does have the dynamic traction control, so you can allow more angles of slip before the computer goes, hey, back it down there, Lando Norris. Is that the right driver? Right? Yeah, thank you. I don't watch F1. So you can play with that a little bit. I'm not going to do it on the street here, but on the track, I found this car. The steering is amazing. It feels like your feet are connected exactly to that front axle the way your feet sit because it's a mid-engine rear drive car. It's just very in tune and connected and comfortable at speed, at slow speeds, at ridiculous speeds, going straight, going sideways. It is very good at everything it does. They cost as much as they cost. It looks like a spaceship. It's like no, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. My brain says dumb shit sometimes. I'm gonna back that one off. It just looks like a sleek spaceship for the road, which is cliche, but in this orange paint that pays homage to McLaren's own heritage. It looks the business, it sounds the business, it's louder with that stainless exit exhaust for these 750Ss. I'm not going to sway you with this video if you were thinking about buying one of these because you can afford multiple cars. So if you were on the fence, which would be weird, get it. Just get one. You can afford it, just do it. And if you are daydreaming about what it would be like to own one of these, your daydreams are correct. It's awesome.
I like the headlight design of these ones. Oh, it's not black and You need audio. My bad. Didn't know you needed audio.
I didn't really push too hard right into the back of the Prologue, which is probably the first privately owned Prologue I've seen on the road.